TG Geeks, episode 276, June 1st, 2020. Relational Healing Through Music. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre. You name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona, where it's hot.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, celebrating the launch of SpaceX.
Yeah, that was exciting today.
That was really fun to watch.
Let's get on with it.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the two gay geeks are discussing this.
Well, SpaceX did launch into hyperdrive there.
So
all of a sudden. We have an interesting writer and star of a film, Frederick Keeve,
as well as composer for the film.
As well as composer.
He composes the music.
The Accompanist, and he'll tell you all about that. We have our regular birthday shout-outs. There's some exciting things getting there. Our podcast of the week and feedback. We have a little bit of feedback and our regular shout-outs. We might have something in a second segment, depending on how much we talk.
Time.
And then weekly recap and our regular shout-outs. So let's just get on with it. And this time we welcome to the show Frederick Keeve, an independent filmmaker, and he's here to talk about his new film that is just about to be released, actually be released tomorrow. Welcome to the show, Frederick.
Hi, Keith, and hi, Ben. You guys sound amazing, and I'm just very grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so tell us who Frederick Keeve is, and kind of your elevator pitch, as if you were going to
The top of the Empire State
top
Building.
of the Empire State Building in an elevator. So your elevator pitch of your life to this moment, and then we'll segue into the film and how that came about.
I always think that my purpose in this lifetime, or sort of my overall purpose, is to enlighten humanity through my films. And just with the film Accompanist, we've kind of distilled the theme down to using the healing power of art to unite and celebrate who we are. And that really encompasses, because it is a gay love story, and there are different subplots to it, but that definitely includes the LGBTQ community. And that I have a passion for independent film, and that's what I do, like 24 hours a day.
How did you get into this?
Yeah, how did you get into filmmaking? What was the impetus to start that? Did you do it as a kid? I know I did. Have always been interested in photography, and we did some crazy stop motion stuff with my stepdad's Super 8 film camera.
My God. Well, that's exactly what happened to me, very similarly. I grew up in Santa Monica, and my brother and I, my brother Douglas Keeve, he's a pretty well-known filmmaker. He did a film called Unzipped a while ago, which won Sundance, and he's mainly based in New York, so his films are mainly about the fashion industry. But we were making Super 8 productions like when we were 10 and 11 years old, and they weren't just like they were like full-on productions. We would write a script, we would scout locations.
Oh my gosh.
We even had this one film that we did in our backyard where we built, because it was kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I mean, well, way before that, but we actually built the props, and they looked pretty good, like giant pencils, giant furniture. So it looked like when we filmed it that we had shrunk. So we snuck into the haunted house, the Evans house up the street. I hope no one in my neighborhood is listening to this right now, but we went into the backyard and we filmed a thriller where my brother Doug was usually the star. I was behind the camera, where he was killed by the killer and he fell down the stairs. We went to Yosemite. We had this elaborate dummy, and I don't know what my parents were thinking about this. Well, they were off, doing something. We were tossing this dummy over into the river and watching it go over the falls, and we were because my parents. My dad was a madman. He was exactly like what you see in that series, Mad Men. It was the 60s. He worked for Max Factor and a lot of companies that were sort of peripherally related to the industry. So we always were sort of contact with famous actors, or people would float through, or we'd go to events. And we had a friend who worked for Mario Puzo, and then The Godfathers, won Best Picture in 72 and 74. Godfather 1 and Godfather 2. So we were at the Academy Awards as kids.
Wow.
And we were standing next to Anne Margaret, I think the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. She was so stunning. I could only stare. In her heyday, Elizabeth Taylor pretty much in her heyday, and a lot of other stars. So we were very early on exposed to the industry. I don't think either of us thought that we'd end up being filmmakers. At least I didn't. But ever since, this is a little embarrassing to say, but ever since I was 12 years old, I had a dream, and I remember looking in the mirror at the back of our house, the service porch, and saying that I'm going to win an Academy Award. And that's really my dream to, it's obviously, firstly, to make amazing films that help enlighten audiences, but I've put it into the universe. I'm going to win an Oscar or two,
Right.
So
there you go.
That's kind of how it all started.
Wow. And then what is the impetus for The Accompanist?
Well, and this is another very interesting story. I was just talking to my mom the other day. I started playing music when I was 4. She got me a little toy piano, and then I guess maybe either she had read an article that said that if you do music from an early age, it helps develop your brain, and it's all kinds of good benefits to it. So she encouraged me, or maybe thought that I guess I liked it, to play piano. And so a friend of ours, Nelson Sean, who's a photographer that lived in West Hollywood, was getting rid of the piano. So we bought the piano. And so I just started taking regular pianos from the age of 5 up through high school. And then I went to UCLA, and I was a political science major, but I didn't like the big classes. And I thought, why don't I just do something where I can be in, classes that are like normal size? And so the music department was great. It was very insular, it was like 10 or 12 in a class. Right. The only bad part of that is if you didn't do your assignment or you screwed up something, some of my teachers were very temperamental, and one in particular, I won't mention his name, but he would scream at you in front of all the students. So that was kind of the negative part. But the good part was that I got some really further good training in music, and music has always been a great love of my life. And then later, I got involved with, I had gone to graduate school in Oklahoma City University, of all places. They thought Californians were so weird. I was just like a novelty to them. But,
trust me, I grew up in Oklahoma, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was interesting because it was completely different from California. First of all, it was freezing cold in the winters.
Yes.
And we actually, Oklahoma City University produced a lot of huge musical talent. A lot of our people went on to Broadway and Miss Americas and all this stuff. And so it was really an interesting time. But let's see, I'm losing my train of thought here. Music. So that was one of two musical theater programs at Oklahoma City University and at Carnegie Mellon. And one of my good friends from UCLA had gone to Carnegie Mellon to pursue music. And then, so music was always, I did like a Gershwin act and, little nightclubs here in LA. Music, and I was writing songs. It was always something that I loved. But at the time I went to, I know I'm telling you this, because the time I went to Oklahoma City University, Ballet Oklahoma with Bo and Stephanie Spassoff, who came right from American Ballet Theater, and they were fabulous. They were gorgeous, young, and they're still teaching now.
Right.
And connected to the studio where I work here in Santa Monica. But they came to start Ballet Oklahoma, and it was a big deal. There was a lot of money in Oklahoma, maybe oil money or something.
Yep.
But they came, and I played piano for their classes, for their master classes, and I just fell in love with ballet. And so off and on over the years, I would play for ballet studios, and then we have a very well-known ballet studio here in Santa Monica, Westside Ballet, or the Academy of Dance in Santa Monica, that was started by two very fabulous ladies. One was, a soloist for Balanchine. The other was with the Royal Ballet. And so my daughters, because I have 4 children, which is a whole other story, two of my daughters took ballet for like 10 years. Of course, then when they became teenagers, they rebelled and they didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
But I've been connected to that studio, and I've been playing ballet classes for them. And so it's great. I mean, it pays well, so it's a nice little side gig. And I love classical music and ballet. So one day, it was a very long explanation, but one day I was sitting at the studio a couple of years ago, and I thought, why don't I write a story? I want to do something that would appeal to gay audience or address those issues, because I've never done that in film. And so I said, I want to tell a gay love story. I want to tell it realistically, and I want to be able to use my music, because I'm a composer, piano music, and I want ballet as a backdrop, because my other goal in this film, The Accompanist, is to bring back ballet to audiences, because we know it from Black Swan, and we know it from Center Stage, or if you're old enough, you remember it from The Turning Point, or, and all the way back to The Red Shoes. But I really I feel like our culture is kind of degraded or descended into this. Everything is, it's just, everything is sort of popularized in a way that sort of leaves the essence of the arts, like classical music, classical ballet, gets kind of pushed to the side. And so that was a very important thing. I wanted to show gay love realistically. And just to share with you my own story in this answer about music, is that I was married for 20 years. My wife left me, and then I just sort of started dating guys. It just sort of happened naturally. And so I had a whole different life after my first life as being married and having 4 children. And, it's always difficult. Divorce is never easy. It was a difficult transition not to have the security of my family, like in that family structure. But it was really great in a way for my art, because I could explore all these different sides of myself. So jump forward a few years and get to wanting to do The Accompanist. I felt like I was a big fan of Call Me By Your Name and Brokeback Mountain, and these gorgeous, not cheesy gay films, but gorgeous films. I never felt that we had a gay film that showed gay love really realistically, like what it's like. And also the same way with ballet. Ballet was, Black Swan. It was mixed into all this sort of, not weird, but just the, those were my goals. I wanted to show ballet, like ballet classes and auditions as they really are. I wanted to show gay love as kind of not just as I know it, but how I think is more realistic. And so that intermixed with my music, because music has been my life, really, as a side of my life. I thought it just all came about, and somehow magic got involved with it, the magical realism. So it was kind of a potpourri, I don't know if that's how you say it, just of these ideas that I wanted to, but I wanted to definitely base it with classical music and classical ballet as the backdrop.
Wow. And if you were in Oklahoma, that'd be that potpourri stuff.
Is that how they say it?
Well, I only lasted in Oklahoma in graduate school for a year because it was too cold. I had to come back to sunny California. But I think that all these episodes of my life where there was education or where I lived, I'm based in Southern California. I'm in Venice, but in Southern California. But I think all of those things had an impact on me. And so that was definitely a very impactful time, even though it was only a year there.
Yeah, we're very into music, and Ben is a musician himself. I played the viola for up through high school, and took some music theory classes, and several of my classmates went to Oklahoma City University, so probably 79, 80 in area. So
that's when I was there. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I know them.
I don't know. William Brackeen, I believe, went to Oklahoma City University. He's a big choral conductor now, so he had perfect pitch. The interesting thing in my music theory class, there was 10 of us or 12 of us, and 4 had perfect pitch.
Oh God, it's rare just to find one.
Really? Really? Here I am, the lowly viola player that can't read music other than alto clef.
And if the notes go up, then I guess my pitch goes up. But if the dots are going down, then okay. And if that dot has like another dot, then I play it this way.
Yeah. But music is very important to us. We're huge supporters of Arizona Opera here. And so we do understand about the music being a part of your life and wanting to see more of that and more of the classic arts, shall we say.
And in terms of ballet, I mean, I've never endeavored into ballet myself. There was a time long ago, I mean, I'm talking over 30 years ago, where I was in between jobs. I mean, the company that I had been working for had completely laid off everybody. So I was just temping wherever I could. And Ballet Arizona needed someone who had some computer experience. And I only worked there for 2 weeks, but oh my God, it was the best 2 weeks of my life because there was just this wonderful, beautiful energy that existed in that entire facility, and watching the ballet, the dancers come in and practice. It really was just a glorious experience. And even though I knew that job had just like the worst shelf life imaginable, I kept thinking, God, even if I'm just working on their computer records, man, I would love to have that job because I love what I'm getting out of this. I mean, there was just so much wonderful, positive love and energy that just came out through all those dancers that it was nearly infectious. So yeah, that was one of the best experiences I ever had. And I was on a computer.
Yeah.
Well, and interestingly enough, Ricky Palomino, who's there's in the film, there's a love triangle between myself, Ricky, whose character's name is Brandon, and Aaron Cavett. Cavett. I hope I'm saying his name right. Is Adam. So Ricky actually he teaches a lot of classes around the United States. He's a dance influencer, and he had I don't know if it was last year or the year before. he went to Ballet Arizona, and I saw a lot of his, because he does a lot of, posting on Instagram, and he taught some master classes and took master classes there. So I got a good feel for Ballet Arizona, and I think it's a fabulous just environment and company and everything. So yeah, that's amazing.
So tell us kind of what the gist of your film is. You've kind of alluded to several different pieces, but tell us about the film and what it is about.
So it's about a middle-aged accompanist who is myself. I play Jason Holden, and it's a bit of a mystery. It's got a little bit of Sixth Sense in it because I'm going through a very difficult period because I'm getting divorced from my wife Karen, and something terrible happened in the family, and you don't really find out the truth of exactly what happened, but there was some family tragedy that involved a car accident, and so I'm trying to. And there, I hope you guys can't hear my dog.
That's okay.
That's all right. We understand.
She's barking. Jeez, she's persistent. So there's a family tragedy, and but you don't know. But at the same time, I fall in love with Ricky's character, Brandon, and that kind of puts a big. It creates a lot of problems in the family because my two teenage kids still live with me. So they, so as I'm trying to navigate my relationship with Brandon, he actually has an abusive boyfriend, which is Adam, and so I kind of see what's going on in their relationship. And eventually, I mean, I don't want to give away the plot of the film, but eventually, he comes to live with me and we get to know each other better, but there's still the conflict within, my original family unit, which is my wife who's divorcing me, and with my kids. And so having to navigate that. But it's a little bit inspired by my own life because, when I sort of came out, to my family, my kids had to get used to the idea and, my parents and everybody. So, but anyway, so it's really the story of, it's a gay love triangle, and there's magic because I have this ability to heal people with my music.
Oh, wonderful.
And so, and that's a bit of, because I love magical realism in film. So I can send people back in time to be healed to where they need to be healed the most.
Oh.
But the sort of the excitement of it is that I can't really control the magic. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it can be dangerous. So I'm reluctant to do this with people. And, obviously Adam, he's an abusive boyfriend to Brandon, and Brandon's trying to break away from him, but he's ill, and he wants me to heal him with the music. So there's that whole theme. So it's a gay love triangle within a family drama, and people will have to go see the film to see how it actually, what the ending is. But I pitch it as Black Swan meets Call Me By Your Name meets The Green Mile meets The Sixth Sense, because there's a surprise twist at the end that no one usually figures out. Almost no one has figured it out, almost 100%. So,
okay, well, you certainly have me interested. But yeah, I think Keith's about to ask the question: when can people see this?
So it's really been amazing because, especially as you guys know, with independent filmmakers, we have to find other ways to promote our films other than, we don't have a studio behind us. So anyway, the people can see it June 2nd transactionally. so if you love the idea and you want to see the film, you can plunk down your money on iTunes or Amazon Insta and buy the film. And then there's the way the release patterns are done these days is we have to, in 90 days, then it'll be on, major streaming platforms. So it'll pop up in September on, Amazon or Netflix or Hulu or one of those. But yeah, so I guess June 2nd, and I have I've been really blessed because I didn't have to search for anybody. They all came to me because we built a social media campaign from the beginning of the picture, from the very beginning. Almost the whole 18 months it took to make the film from beginning to end, we were building our social media following. So, our British producer, Julie Eagleton, she was really instrumental in doing she developed our Instagram at the Accompanist movie, and it has a pretty good following. And then we did an Indiegogo campaign, which got the word out. So I think between those, people heard about us, and so our wonderful sales agents, Ryan and Andrew with Motion Picture Exchange, which Ryan used to be with Concourse Media, which is a very reputable company, and then Mike Repsch with Dark Star Pictures came in after them. So we, at Cannes last year, we sold, it was unbelievable. We sold most of the European countries through ProFund Media, which is a distributor that is their big distributor for gay films. And then we sold in Brazil at TIFF, and then we, through Dark Star Pictures, which has wonderful films with big stars like Ethan Hawke, they picked up the film, and they're doing the whole English-speaking world. So basically on June 2nd, you will be able to see us in Canada, in the UK, in the United States, the Bahamas, in South Africa, anywhere in the English-speaking world. So, it's kind of thrilling to think that we could have that reach. We basically pretty much will be covering the whole world.
That is so awesome. And I would love to talk to you some more, but unfortunately we're hitting up against the red line. So I'll just simply ask this. If people want to learn more about you, Mr. Keeve, if they want to follow you on any kind of social media platform, be it Facebook or Twitter, do you have any social media presence where they can follow you and maybe keep in touch with everything that you're currently working on?
Well, I have, as I mentioned, we have the Instagram for the movie, so that's at the Accompanist movie, where they can keep up on the movie. With me, I'm not like a big social media person. The only thing I really focus on is Instagram, so I think it's at fkeeve. If they look up, F and then Keeve at fkeeve, that'll get you to my Instagram, and that's mostly devoted to all my film stuff. So anything that's going on with any of my films. I just had another film distributed, the first film I ever made with a lot of Academy Award-winning stars, called From Russia to Hollywood. That just is going to be distributed by Silicon Beach Distribution. So a lot of good things are happening. I guess good things happen all at once, like bad things happen all at once. So right now it's good things happening all at once, which I'm, obviously very grateful for.
All right. Well, this has been a wonderful time talking to you. Thank you for being on our show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it very much.
Hi, I'm Patricia Chica, director, producer, and here you are listening to my favorite podcast, The Two Gay Geeks. Oh, yeah.
Well, that was a fascinating interview.
It certainly was.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the film whenever it comes out. And here's a few selected birthdays for June 1st through June 7th, 2020. Can you believe we're already in June?
Halfway into the year.
Halfway into the year, exactly.
Holy cow, where did it go?
All of it went with us in the home.
Yeah, it did. That's true.
Cooped up here. June 1st, Jonathan Pryce, actor, Pirates of the Caribbean. He was in Game of Thrones. It was, what was he, the My Little Chickadee? Or
Yeah, that's it.
The High Sparrow. Did I chuckle you? I chuckled myself.
Yeah, you did.
He was actually in the comic relief in 1999 in a little Doctor Who short, Curse of the Fatal Death.
That was amusing.
He played the Master.
He played the Master, yes, he did.
He's also huge on Broadway and the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. Powers Booth, actor, Avengers, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., voice actor, Justice League on TV, several incarnations of that. He played Grodd.
Oh, he was Grodd.
The gorilla.
Gorilla Grodd.
Gorilla Grodd.
I can see he's got the voice for it. We had a little bit of post-studio effects, and yeah, that could work.
Yep. Cleavon Little, actor, Blazing Saddles.
Where are white women at?
Yeah. He was born in Chickasha, Oklahoma. And he was also a very accomplished and talented Shakespearean actor. He loved to act in Shakespeare plays.
And yet he's so well known for comedy.
Yep. And in
he's
fact,
a brilliant comedic actor.
Every chance he got, he would do some Shakespeare.
No kidding. I wonder if he did that in between takes on Blazing Saddles, which would be so incongruous. I mean, I would like to actually see that.
Yep. Then we have Edward Woodward, actor, The Equalizer.
Oh, yeah.
Had a heart attack in between seasons.
Yeah.
And it just never was the same after.
No, that was a serious, nearly fatal heart attack.
Yep. And let's see, he was an avid war gamer. He hosted a TV series about that hobby of miniatures and reenactments of
how about that?
Various battles of war games. Kip Thorne, theoretical physicist, friend of Hawking and Carl Sagan, won the Nobel Prize for his significant contributions to the LIGO detector and observation of gravitational waves. Also did work on black holes and wormholes. So all around. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. All Einstein-y stuff. So, and then we have Tom Holland, actor, Spidey, played Billy Elliot on stage. He's dyslexic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Rene Auberjonois, actor, Benson, Deep Space Nine, Warehouse 13, SG-1, Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
An uncredited role. Night Gallery.
He was Colonel West.
Oh, was he Colonel West?
He was Colonel West in Star Trek 6.
Oh, there was something else that there was an uncredited role. I don't recall what it was, but then Night Gallery, he played Mr. Sharsted. And then we have Raising
Buchanan.
Yep. He is distantly related to Emperor Napoleon.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And taught acting at Juilliard. Then we have Nelson Riddle, band leader, distinctive sound through the 40s, through the 80s. Worked with Ella Fitzgerald on multiple albums.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. The Nelson Riddle, Ella Fitzgerald albums.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Gershwin, you're talking Cole Porter, and 2 albums, Nelson Riddle, what was it? Ella Sings Brightly with Nelson Riddle Orchestra, and then, what was it? Ella Sings Lowly or Dimly or something.
Dimly?
I don't know. It was kind of a play on that, opposite of Bright. But it was...
well, what I loved is, and every time we would take like road trips, especially out to California, we would listen to the Ella Fitzgerald...
The Gershwin songbooks.
The Gershwin songbooks, and to hear these wonderful songs where she's backed up by Nelson Riddle and the orchestra. And they were just as much fun to listen to as it was to listen to her sing. Exactly.
And then we have Facebook friend Mark Jones and Facebook friend and opera singer Jennifer Johnson Cano.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jennifer. Yeah, it was. She was one of the mermaids in the new Ring Cycle.
That's right. I mean, she's a big name in my book.
One
of the Rhine Maidens. She's a big name in my book. I mean, and you can actually see her if you get the. You can actually watch. There's a special on the making of the new Ring Cycle.
Wagner's Dream.
Wagner's Dream, thank you very much. And there's actually a bit with her. I think she was the one who was actually afraid to be hoisted up and sing suspended against the big machine.
Yeah, and Christopher was telling me that she would come home after one of the first or second rehearsals, bruised.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Because they hadn't figured out the harness correctly yet. So she said, "I don't want to do this anymore."
Didn't. No, in fact, there's a clip. You can actually see her as it's being demonstrated, and she's just there on the stage with the other Rhine maidens, and you just look. She has this look of horror on her face, like, I have to do that.
June 2nd, Wentworth Miller, actor, Prison Break, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash. His first credit was in Buffy in 1988, or 1998, sorry. Openly gay man, comic book fan. He loves comic books. Then we have Justin Long, actor, Herbie Fully Loaded. He played Ben in Galaxy,
I see where you're going with that. Very well played. Very well played.
That's why I don't share this part of the script with you. I can't remember what was his name.
I don't recall what his name, what his character's name was.
It was you.
But it was me, essentially.
Yeah. And then he was the Mac in Apple's Get a Mac commercials.
Yeah.
Edward Elgar, composer, most famous to graduates for Pomp and Circumstance.
Yeah.
And Zachary Quinto, actor, Heroes, Star Trek. He's an out gay man.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Feige, producer, Mr. Marvel
Mr.
Cinematic
Marvel.
Universe. Actually, he has 0 credits before the first Marvel film.
That's right.
That was produced by
Marvel
Studios. So he was, I don't know what he was doing before that.
Well, who knows?
Anyway, June 3rd, we've got James Purefoy, who was in Altered Carbon. He also screen tested for James Bond in GoldenEye.
Was he the star of the first season?
Yes, the first season.
Oh, he was fantastic, and he's in that.
He was the menace, the guy, the rich guy.
Yeah. Okay.
The one we get to see fully. Yeah.
All right.
Full frontal.
Got it.
Penelope Wilton, actress. She was in Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, both films. Downton Abbey. She was Mrs. Crawley.
Okay.
Or the other Mrs. Crawley. She was in Doctor Who. Harriet Jones, MP.
MP, yeah. Prime Minister. And she would hold up her ID.
Member of Parliament, yes.
Yeah.
She was once married to Ian Holm.
No kidding.
Yeah. Chuck Barris, producer, most famous for his over-the-top hosting of The Gong Show. He produced 12 different game shows.
The man is fascinating, to say the least.
Yes, he claimed to be a CIA agent.
Yeah.
And he started as a page at NBC in New York. June, let's see, and then we have Randy Lapham and Robert B. Andrews Sr. June 4th, Sean Pertwee, actor. He was Alfred in Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in Elementary. He was, Scotland Yard.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I can't, name went out of my brain all of a sudden.
I'd forgotten that he was in that. Yeah.
And son of John Pertwee.
And he, a couple of Halloweens ago, he actually dressed up as the Third Doctor. And it sent Doctor Who fans completely in a frenzy. And now everybody's screaming, if we're ever going to do another multiple Doctor episode, you need to bring Sean Pertwee in to play his dad.
Yeah.
Even though they sound nothing alike.
Exactly.
I don't think fans would care.
No.
They would still be happy that he did it.
Exactly. And then we have Rosalind Russell.
Mame. Well, Auntie Mame. We should be very clear on that.
Yeah, one of her big films was His Girl Friday and then Auntie Mame. She had roles from 1934 to 1972.
She's amazing.
Yeah. And we saw a fascinating...
wonderful documentary on
her. Just fascinating woman. Bruce Dern, actor, virtually every Western in the 60s. I looked, it's like, what?
It was a big genre back then.
The Virginian, the Gunsmoke, just
Westerns
Big Valley.
were huge for a couple of
60s,
decades. Yeah.
Father of Laura Dern, whose mother was Diane Ladd, and he has 11 films in post-production.
No kidding. Wow,
Yeah.
still working.
Wow, yeah. Robin Lord Taylor, actor, Oswald Cobblepot, a.k.a. the Penguin in Gotham. He's an out gay man. Met his partner on a Frito-Lay Stax commercial.
Far out. Well, great.
Hey,
That's awesome. I'm happy for them.
And Dr. Ruth Westheimer, author, media personality. She's 92.
Good heavens.
I guess her claim to fame was sex is good.
I used to listen to her radio show. It was fantastic.
She was something else. Then we have Neil Douglas, Facebook friend, and Ross Ozarka, who we interviewed here a couple of years ago. He did the cardboard cutouts.
That's right.
And it was, what was the...
Oh, the title is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. The guy that I killed was the friend of my girlfriend's, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
On and on and on and on and on and on. It was actually quite fascinating.
It really was.
Because, what was it? It wasn't Macbeth. It was
something very Shakespearean.
Yeah, it was a Shakespearean story. June 5th, Colm Wilkinson, singer, Les Miserables, Valjean. And Troye Sivan, singer, actor. He was Gary in Boy Erased, an out gay man.
Yes.
And he's featured on the soundtrack of Love, Simon.
Yes, he is.
Yes. And then we have Facebook friends, Gary Baum Wilkes, Joe Boudry, Tim Calloway,
who I went to school with and provides a little bit of content for every episode you hear.
Yes, and in fact, the meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, that's Tim. He did that for us. And then our neighbor, Ramon Quintana. Happy birthday, Ramon. June 6th, Paul Giamatti, actor. He was absolutely wonderful as John Adams.
He really was.
He was, among other things. That
he's done a lot, but I think that was an amazing role for him to take on.
Yep. His father was commissioner of Major League Baseball until he died of a heart attack. And he's a fan of sci-fi.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Harvey Fierstein, actor, Torch Song Trilogy, Independence Day, Mrs. Doubtfire. He started performing, get this, he started performing as a drag queen at age 15 in Manhattan clubs.
I can believe it. Yeah, I believe it.
And his trademark gravelly voice is the result of overdeveloped ventricular folds in his throat, causing a hoarse-sounding double voice.
Really?
Yeah. So
I wondered why.
Yeah. Sarah Bernhardt.
Sarah?
Sarah, yes. And
why does it say Sandra?
Sandra. Did I say Sarah?
You said Sarah.
Sorry. Sandra Bernhardt. Actress. She was in Hercules TV series as Cassandra. She was in The L Word, stand-up comedian. Grew up in Scottsdale.
No, we knew that.
She was born.
That's right, we do know that.
Yeah, she was born in Flint, Michigan, but they moved to Scottsdale in her early years, and she graduated from high school out there.
Well, we actually saw her at, was it an HRC event, was it?
Yeah, it was. There's a photo somewhere hanging around here.
And she's one of the few people that can actually intimidate me. I'm not easily intimidated, but that woman, I mean, we got to meet her afterwards in a little private event and get photos with her, and I looked at her and I thought, I don't know what to say.
Dumbfounded.
Actually, I did say, there are very few people who intimidate me, but you're one of them. And then I left it at that. And she just smiled.
Yep. Jason Isaacs, actor, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Discovery.
Lucius Malfoy.
Discovery. He was him.
Captain of the Discovery.
Yes. Star Wars Rebels, 6 films in post right now. He's done a ton of stuff. And then we have Arun Khachaturian. He's a composer, Soviet composer, most noted for the saber dance, and the adagio from his ballet Guyane was used in 2001.
That's right, it was.
And then we have Facebook friends Donovan Holden, Vernon Meyer, and my music theory teacher Marjorie Malone. June 7th, Liam Neeson, actor, Qui-Gon Jinn, Oscar Schindler in Schindler's List. He was wonderful in Monster Calls.
Oh, he was fantastic in that.
Yeah, it was a touching movie.
God, that movie broke my heart. It was so beautiful.
Yeah. And also was considered for Bond in GoldenEye.
And actually played Ra's al Ghul in one of the Batman movies, one of the first of the the Christopher Columbus. Not Christopher Columbus. Shoot.
Anyway,
yeah.
Then we have Bill Hader, actor, voice actor. We saw him in Paul, that movie that we watched here.
Yeah.
He was one of the FBI agents.
Oh, of course he was. Yes, he was.
Yes. One of the two geeky, goofy FBI agents.
Yeah.
He was also in many, many episodes of Saturday Night Live. He was in Inside Out. He was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
How about that?
He used to have panic attacks before his SNL performances, and his then wife would come and do Lamaze breathing with him before the show.
Which is probably why they end up getting divorced.
Who knows?
After a while. But, well, I can understand that. I mean, SNL, that's a scary job to be on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all live.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have Prince, or Carl Urban, actor, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Almost Human. Dare I say it, he was in Xena, Princess Warrior.
Well, he's from Australia.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was a big production back then. But what I loved, I mean, yeah, he's done a lot of great stuff, but I think I really loved Almost Human.
Yeah.
Well, I know I loved it. I mean, that was such a great series, and it was so neat to see him in that kind of role.
Yeah.
Wow, what to say about it? And the man is really talented.
Yeah. His accent when playing McCoy was so reminiscent of D. Kelly that it moved Nimoy to tears.
No, really?
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
That's awesome.
Yep. Then we have Prince, musician, formerly known as That Symbol.
Yeah, the artist.
Kind of
Prince,
groundbreaking, music. He changed the face of music.
Yes, he did.
And then we have Facebook friend Colin Davin, who is a classical guitarist who was
Maria de Buenos Aires.
Yeah, Maria de Buenos Aires. He played the guitar. And then we have Sherry Migdal. Happy birthday.
Yes.
And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
Okay, I got a little bit of feedback here I want to go through. Starting off with, regarding Hamish Downey's 5 more questions with PJ Solarum. Got a comment from PJ, and he says, thank you. I was very honored by the second interview. May everyone find their hidden green. And then it's got something to do with the content that PJ comes up with. And of course, Hamish responds with, I was honored to have you back. And then moving on to, regarding Dr. Zombie Monster Family Physician number 90, got a comment from Hamish Downey, and he says, oh, maybe I have a chance to beat him to 100. Well, turns out you both hit 100 in the same week. And then regarding Ben's breakdown, Doctor Who season ending thoughts, got a comment from one of my dearest friends in the whole world, Darren Anderson, big Who fan. He says, New Who has become dated far more quickly than Classic Who. Compare the 1970s to now. The music and storytelling, there is more with Classic Who to rewatch. And he's simply not talking about the volume of Classic Who. He's talking about the quality of the content. And I would agree, because we tend to rewatch Classic Who a lot than we do with the New Who.
Yep.
And then this is regarding TG Geeks, episode number 273. Got a comment from the people at Raising Buchanan again. This time they left a comment on Instagram, and they said, we love the TJ Geeks. Thank you for the continued love and support.
TJ Geeks?
TJ Geeks. And then lastly, got a comment from Hamish Downey. And we had done the birthday segment, and we mentioned Birgit Nielsen. And he said, for a second, I thought the birthday was for Brigitte Nielsen, the ex of Sly Stallone, also was in the movie Red Sonja, and is the nemesis to the late Joan Rivers. And was saying that she was an opera singer as well. Well, apparently she is beloved in Italy. Shows my ignorance of opera singers who aren't Joan Sutherland or Pavarotti. And that is our feedback.
If you want to leave a comment, you can do that on our Facebook page or at tggeeks.com on each article or episode. You can also comment on Twitter and Instagram. If you wish, you can call and leave us a voicemail, and we'll play that on air. You can call 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice. We are huge supporters of independent creators, whether the filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others, as you know, by our interviews that we do, obviously. We would like for you to support independent creators too, and you can do that by going to their websites, their Facebook pages, their Etsy pages, looking at their stuff, talking about their stuff, buying their stuff if you choose, and please support independent creators. The Joshua Tree Feeding Program is a nonprofit food pantry for the HIV and AIDS community in Maricopa and Pinal County. They set it up like a store so that clients can choose the food that they want so nothing is wasted. Please consider, in these hard times, supporting Joshua Tree either through a single or a monthly recurring gift. You can go to jtfp.org. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about something that we were going to talk about last week, but oddly, we ran out of time, and I think it's actually more appropriate that we talk about it today.
What are you talking about?
We saw a movie recently.
A movie, yes.
That
we saw several movies recently.
But I'm speaking about one.
Uh-huh.
We saw a certain movie recently that I've been wanting to see for a long time.
Uh-huh.
You seem to have a little bit of reluctance, but before it was all over, you loved it as much as I did. Paul.
Speaking of Paul, Bill Hader's birthday is this week.
Precisely.
Oh my God, what a crazy movie. Good Lord.
The movie is, for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, it's just about a couple of geeks. They're
from the UK.
From the UK. One's a writer, and they're best friends. One's a writer, and the other one does illustrations for his friend's writing. And they have gone to San Diego Comic-Con. And the misadventures that follow afterwards are not to be believed.
That is the understatement.
They meet an alien. And all I have to say is, I just have two words to say to that. Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Figure it out from there, people. If you haven't seen this movie, I cannot recommend it enough. It is just nuts.
It is. Please go see the or where was it? Was it on Amazon or was it?
That was Netflix.
Oh, it was on Netflix. Yeah,
it was either Netflix or it was HBO. One of the two. I can't remember which, but it's on the streaming services now. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. God, you guys have got to see Paul. This movie is so funny, and it has so many jokes.
Oh, my Lord.
And homages to classic films, not the least of which Sigourney Weaver. She's hilarious in this thing. I mean, the movie is just brilliant to no end. Yep. I absolutely loved it.
It was a lot of fun.
And these are the things that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com. We will have the links to each of these articles, as well as the links to the things that we talked about in our feedback for the in the show notes for this episode, tggeeks.com. Starting on Sunday, May 24th, Dr. Zombie Monster Family Physician number 101. Wow. And then on Monday the 25th, TG Geeks episode number 275. On Tuesday, the 26th, HBO to donate $1 million to the COVID-19 Crisis Fund. On Wednesday, the 27th, Pride and Joy Foundation launches comprehensive online community for LGBTQ families and allies. We didn't have anything running on Thursday, the 28th, because we were having some really weird issues with our internet. And then on Friday, the 29th, Hamish Downey has 5 more questions with Felicity Tilak. And then on Saturday, the 30th, CocoCon 2020 cancels their event, and we're sad about that. But that is what we ran on our website at tggeeks.com. And what are you doing?
I'm adding something.
You added something?
Yes. To the script.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I'm waiting for a sound.
Oh, you're waiting for a sound. Oh,
yeah, I'm waiting for my cue.
There we go.
Okay, we have some shout-outs that we need to give. That was my cue. And of course, the shout-outs are being changed right in front of my very eyes. First to the Argyle Times Post-Dispatch News is put up by the human Argyle, Brian Weber. The Post-Dispatch News republishes our content from time to time, so wish to give the human Argyle some love. And you can find the Post-Dispatch News by finding him on Twitter. Do that by searching for Argyle at Arkle. And speaking of Argyle, he has the Shameless Cash Grab on YouTube. He has wrapped up season 4. You can find that by going to youtube.com/Argyle Studios. He started a new series, Rants versus Zombies, number 14, season 5. Am I reading that right?
Yep, that's what it says.
Okay.
So I just looked at it.
Okay. And as I said, he's had the wrap-up of Season 4 of The Shameless Cash Grab, and he continues to play the game Trick and Treat. He is on Episode 4 of that. And we must give some shout-outs to a couple of Facebook groups for also allowing us to share our content there. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. We must give their moderator some love for literally telling us to share away our content. Their URL is facebook.com/group/Gay Geeks After Hours, and then To The Gay Geek for the same reason. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. And as always, we must give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And lastly, but not leastly, we can be found on Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Krypton Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesdays. They do a rebroadcast for podcast at that time. And listen to their other content, their 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can listen to our episode while you surf the internet on your device. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We're going to have links on that page of things we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay home. Stay safe.
Cheers.